So there comes a time where you find this one piece of gear that could really be so functional that you actually fall in love with it. Well, maybe I'm being a little bit ambitious about that. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Neil here, and I hope you are having a great start to your 2024 new year. I hope that you can crush all the goals that you are setting out for yourself as far as being creative and just doing all the projects and the things that you want to do in 2024 and beyond. So today, let's talk about this piece of gear here, which happens to be the Tilta Nucleus Nano II wireless follow focus system. This is an awesome piece of gear that I just picked up about a month ago for my Blackmagic rig. And if you haven't seen that video, I will link it up here in the cards. Definitely go check that out. I just fully completely build the Blackmagic rig, the Pocket Cinema camera 6K G2, and this is one of the pieces of gear that goes on it. So let's just talk about it real quick. Going to be a short video. It does what it's supposed to do. Essentially, it controls your cinema lenses or your photography lenses if you're using those, as long as you have a focus gear on it. And it does a really good job of doing it. Super functional. What I like about this Tilta Nucleus Nano is that you can control different motors. So if you have one for focus and you have one for zoom, you can control those both simultaneously, like I have set up on my DZO film 20 to 55 lens. I'm able to control the zoom and the focus motor with just this one unit. What I also love about this unit is if you have a cage, you're able to mount this control knob on the NATO rail of a cage, provided that you have one, or a NATO rail in general. Some of the standout features of it, you're able to control different aspects of certain cameras like the Blackmagic, Sony, Panasonic. You can use the start stop function, and which is this button right here, which also happens to be the power button on certain camera models. You can plug in lens data and you can control certain things about lenses and set points in those for certain lenses that you may have. A really smart follow focus system. It doesn't just, functionally, move your lenses as far as the zoom and the focus, but it does a lot of other things. And a standout feature for me is that it has Wi-Fi built into it, which is really nice. So if your camera doesn't operate with the USB-C that's inputted into here, then you can always use Bluetooth or Wi-Fi to control your camera. Like for instance, on the Blackmagic, I would just use Bluetooth because I'm using my USB-C port for my SSD recording. Some other standout features is that you can actually download firmware right to this control knob, which is really nice because you don't have to hook it up to a computer. You just connect to your Wi-Fi network and you can download all the updates that come in for not only the knob but the motor itself. So that's a really nice feature as well. Calibrating this thing is super easy. So essentially what you do is you go to your menu settings by swiping up, and then you go to connect, and then you click on 2.4G. Click on channels, and what you need to do in order to pair your motors is double tap the button on the motor so it goes into pairing mode. Do that for the one or two motors, whatever you have, and then it's going to come up under your device list in your menu here, and you just hit confirm, and then that way you then are connected to both of your motors with this knob here. And then once you do that, you can just hold down the function button for 3 seconds and that will actually calibrate all the motors for you. So super simple setup, real easy to navigate the menus. I love the swipe feature with the touchscreen. The touchscreen is absolutely beautiful. And you can actually go in and individually set the parameters for each motor. So if you want to go in and adjust the torque or the power for the focus motor or the zoom motor, you are able to do that individually, even once you get done with the auto calibration. So that's a nice feature to have as well. Also, you can adjust the sensitivity of each motor, and you can also adjust the direction of each motor. So that way you can customize it to that particular lens that you have. So yeah, all in all, it's a really, really nice feature. And what I'm looking forward to is the possible rumors that I have heard of this being integrated with a LiDAR type of system. So essentially kind of like the DJI LiDAR system with their follow focus that goes on their gimbals. This would be an absolute dream being able to put this on a DJI RS3 gimbal if you already have one of these or you plan on picking one up. And then Tilta developing some sort of LiDAR system that would work in conjunction with this and certain gimbals. So that would be fantastic. Not sure if you're working on that, Tilta, but that would be absolutely amazing. So that way, on a gimbal, we can use the follow focus with the cinema lenses and almost get an autofocus type of feature, if you will. And that may be the case because of the simple fact that right down here, I'm not sure. I don't know a whole lot about this because I haven't had it that long and fully ran it through its paces, but you do have a manual focus and an AF button here. Basically, you tap on the screen and it switches between the two. I need to do a little bit more research on that. Maybe that's just something that's just there for autofocus lenses versus manual focus lenses. But for some reason, I think they may integrate their own LiDAR system in the future. At least I sure do hope so. So yeah, that was just a quick overview of the Tilta Nucleus Nano 2. I'm going to be using it obviously on my Blackmagic rig, and I will be using it on certain projects, and I will let you know in some upcoming videos how that fares when using it on set and using it quite often. The only issue that I've ran into is sometimes when you do the firmware update, it gets stuck, but the fix for that basically is to unplug the motor, the power from the motor, which powers by USB-C, by the way. Not only this can be charged with USB-C, but the motors are powered with USB-C as well. You just unplug that for about 2 seconds, holding down the side button there, and then you plug it back in, and then that puts it in pairing mode so you can download the firmware update. When you download the firmware update, which I recommend for the knob, only thing you have to do is just simply go to your firmware update in your settings, and then essentially, I'm sorry, in system, you go for the firmware update, and then it will automatically download the update for the knob, but you do have to pair the motors in order to get the firmware update to go. It will start, but it will get stuck on the motor firmware update. So just try that if you run into any issues there. Also, if you already have this, let me know what you think of it in the comments. Let me know if I've missed anything that I didn't talk about that's important, and I would really appreciate it. So thank you guys for coming back to the channel and checking out this video. I hope you all have a great, better yet, fantastic 2024. Crush all your goals, be creative, and until next time, be safe, be kind, and take care of each other.